Hey there, it's your Bill Estate Agent, and we're kicking off this year's interviews with a really cool guy, Jonathan St. Hilaire with Mission Bakery. Well, so Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to have you here. I just discovered you guys not too long ago, and I'm anxious for you to share with everyone what you do. But first of all, with as all my podcasts, I always ask my guests a real estate question. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, if you were to buy a house this month, you're looking for a house, what is a must-have feature that you would be looking for?
It would have to have land.
Okay.
A lot of land.
All right.
Not a lot. I would just want the 5 acres ish, so I could have some privacy.
Okay.
And the ability, I think, to kind of farm a little bit too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So. Do you have land where you live now?
We sit on almost, an acre, which is good.
It's pretty good.
But I definitely, I would like more space.
Yeah.
I don't want to see neighbors anymore.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, let me know when you're ready. We'll find you some. Well, so Mission Bakery. So it, for those of you that don't know, they're located in the Canton Street Farmers Market, right at Canton Street in Woodstock, and are filling the space while there's no produce there. Right.
Yep.
And so, so just tell me everything. How'd you guys get started, and what are you all about? And
well, I mean, we got started. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 14, 15, and kind of worked my way through kitchens and fell in love with pastry and bread, and went to New York City and worked up there, went to school there, and kind of made my way down south, and worked for a lot of restaurants in Atlanta, and then opened up my first bakery in Atlanta, sold that, bought a bakery in Michigan, then sold that, and we came back here because we wanted to come back, and Roswell was kind of always high on our list to come back to. So,
okay. So you're not from here?
Not from here originally, no. From, I say lots of different places.
Yeah.
It really is a lot of different places. But, Roswell was just always, we always had our eye on Roswell. So Mission Bakery for me was kind of really taking the pieces of my bakery out of Michigan that was fully organic. We baked everything out of a wood-burning brick oven. It was amazing. It was great. But really it's just staying focused on that kind of organic everything and really just trying to push what I consider to be really important, and that's just getting people to eat real bread. And it's so simple. It's flour, water, salt, and a natural starter. That's it. That's all it needs to be. So I think now people are really starting to realize how much they need bread, they want bread, they miss eating good bread. And when they do eat bread from other places, they have issues. So
and flavor-wise, there is such a difference. It's amazing, and I'll be the first to admit the Hobans went through the bread making fad. Yes. We were at what's it called?
The sourdough.
We did all
COVID.
Yeah, we had buckets of grain, all this stuff. I'm like, we finally gave it away. I'm like, it's a lot.
Yep.
And so I really appreciate you doing it for me.
Yes.
Where I can just
I think
swing
a lot
in
of people do.
and pick, right.
So, it was funny because I think that's when a lot of people, so many people were trying to make bread at home because they realized they couldn't go to the store, and or there were shortages. And when they actually did make something, some people succeeded really well and some didn't. But even those that didn't realized, wow, this tastes really good. It doesn't taste like what I buy at the store, and I feel good when I eat it too. So I think that's kind of the big thing about it. So.
Yeah, well, and we've got lots of friends who have had, digestive issues and things that it's amazing that just changing the diet or changing the ingredients in your diet, what that can do.
Yeah, I think when you look at when you're looking at the bread that is bought at the store, it's not it's not the 4, or 5 ingredients that I use in my bread. I mean, there are things in there that they're preservatives, and they might say it's organic or this or that, but it was, made a week or so ago. It was shipped across country. It was frozen. It was this. It needs preservatives in there to last that long, and then to sit on the shelves for as long as it does. So it's just, those are the things that are bothering people. And yes, I fully understand there are some people that are celiac, and it's an issue there. But I've also had people that said they were celiac, and we used to make a spelt and kamut bread, and they would eat it and not have an issue at all. So I think it's keeping it, again, the organic, non-treated grains that have been stone milled and not, milled in a massive vat where they rip out all the nutrients in it. And that's what you're getting out of it, is all the nutrients when you're eating that bread. And the sourdough process itself kind of helps break down that gluten, that protein, that structure, so that the body can actually naturally digest it. So it needs it. So yeah.
Well, that's great. So when you started this, you started just out of your house? The Roswell we are currently?
It was kind of, we're looking around at spaces, and rents were out of control, and there wasn't really anything I liked. And the micro bakery movement, the cottage bakery movement was happening, and I was seeing it, and it kind of spoke to me. And sure enough, I have a pretty finished basement that had water, down there for a wet bar. And it was just kind of, I wanted it to be just me and doing what I love to do. And at the same time, the labor was an issue, and it's definitely difficult to find bakers. It's hard to find pastry people. So for me to just rely on myself, I figured, I could do that. I can rely on myself. So so it worked out well.
Well, and so what I think too, what a great partnership, or it's worked out where, the farmers market literally shuts down for 4 or 5 months a year, and you have filled that space.
Dave and I became friends at the Roswell Farmers Market, and he was like, "Hey, so I hear you're looking for a space," and I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Well," and it just worked out great. And he had been selling my bread there for a little bit, so people kind of already knew to go there. But when it was like, "Oh wow, you're going to be there," like, yeah. I mean, so many people kept saying, "We live right around the corner. We live right around the corner." It's like, well, we'll be there. So it worked out.
Well, it's great. Well, I know you're looking too for a more permanent home. In Roswell, I assume would be your preference. Yeah. So.
We'd like to stay here. I mean, again, keeping it small, and just to have the ability to just crank up our production a little bit more. So,
Yeah. Well, so in a perfect world, how big is that space?
I mean, 1,000 to 2,000 square feet would be great. That's kind of what I would like to have. And, again, I like kind of quirky. I'm not, I don't need mainstream, perfection on it. But I think I'm lucky that I have a lot of people that definitely come to find me. So
yeah. Well, hopefully that'll just continue to grow. I know we had seen the signs every Saturday when we're passing by, and finally swung in there, and I think we've been back ever since.
Exactly. That's what happens. You get hooked.
We keep,
and you never can stop. So
yeah. Well, so I was, out of everything you make, what would you say is your personal favorite?
I don't know. That's what it's hard. Everyone says, what's your favorite? I'm like, well, they all are. It's like, if I didn't like them, I wouldn't make it. What's the point of making something you don't like?
Well, of course, that makes sense.
My go-to every morning, maybe not every morning, but I love my my pain au chocolat. I love my chocolate croissant.
Yes.
So that is usually what I normally have almost every morning. So, but I'm always trying stuff. I'm always eating sourdough. I'm always eating, multigrain bread that we do, the seeded. And for me, it's always just to taste it and make sure it's where I want it to be at and stuff. But I love it. Yeah.
Do you, does your product change throughout the year dependent on, fresh produce available and stuff like that? Or do you...
Yeah, it does. I mean, definitely the pastry side of it. The danishes change up seasonally. Some of the breads do change. Like right now, you definitely will get into heartier breads into the winter. I just ordered another wheat variety and another rye variety that's a little bit heavier to do kind of more of that Jewish rye style bread. We'd also like to bring back our miche, which is a more farmhousey kind of bread. But, we did a sun-dried tomato and garlic pesto bread this past weekend, and that did really well. But come summertime, we'll lighten things up. We'll do semolina bread and just get a little bit on the lighter side for people. But yeah, now for the winter, it's people definitely like the heartier stuff. So,
okay. Yeah. And are you have you partnered with any restaurants on Canton Street or in the area? Or
we have. It's been really good. We do some stuff with Table and Main. They've been a great supporter for a while. Osteria Matone. We do pastries for Summit Coffee. As well, and also do some stuff for Springfield Barbecue when he does his pop-ups. So, it's been great. I really appreciate. I mean, they've been so supportive, and it's been amazing.
Yeah,
so.
Well, I've probably had Table and Main is my go-to. So it's I love it, and and so you mentioned Springfield Barbecue. So you mentioned they're going to be actually popping up at your Canton Street Farmers Market from time to time, right?
Yeah, we're going to try to get him at least once a month. He's definitely a very popular barbecue pop-up in the area, so we get him once a month.
Awesome.
He also makes a product for me that I do a sausage roll using some of his sausage too. So, but yeah, he does this brisket egg and cheese sandwich on a burger bun that I make for him, and it's amazing. And
I can't wait. I've had the sausage roll madness. It is delicious, and that's what we love. Our family will go in and we walk out with an almond croissant, a chocolate croissant, a sausage roll. And it's great.
Get one of everything.
We do pretty much. It's a great spot, and fortunately we live really close, so
there you go.
Can zip right over. With your shop at Canton Street Farmers Market right now is Black Swan Coffee and
Blonding Swan.
Blonding. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The Blonding Swan.
The Blonding Swan.
I have no idea what that means, but she can explain.
Yeah, we'll know more. She's coming. She's gonna come on the podcast here in a couple weeks, so it'll be.
Yeah, she was buying pastries from me when she was doing something up at Big Canoe, and then she stopped doing that, and she was talking. I was like, well, I think I'm going to do this space. Why don't you come in there? Because I don't do coffee. I don't want to do coffee. I have no desire to be a barista. It's not what I do. So it was kind of one of those things, like she needed a spot, or she wanted a spot, and she wanted to do the pop-ups, and coffee and pastries go very well together.
Delicious.
So it worked out really well.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited you're there, and excited that you took a few minutes to spend with us. Tell me a little more about your family's here.
Family's here. My boys, Roswell High School sophomores, play football.
So you're all in Roswell.
We're all in.
I love it.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy it. We wish, kind of wish we were here sooner, but we got in at a really good time. So 2019, I think. So right before it all got crazy. But I love how it's a good sized town, but at the same time, you definitely get that small town feel.
100%.
People definitely look after each other.
They want to support one another, certainly. Yeah. And again, I always say it, but like it's businesses like yours that make Roswell such a special place that people want to move here, and that helps businesses like mine.
That's right,
so
exactly.
It's all. I love to support y'all in any way I can.
Yeah.
So always
thank you.
Let us know that. And anyway, anything else?
That's it. That's all we got.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for coming on, and thank you guys for watching. And when you're ready to sell or buy, call your real estate agent. Right. He's your guy. And hey, I forgot totally. This is what you're coming for, is the swag. So here you've got a tailgate koozie, your real estate pool cup for next summer, and a couple pins there. So
I appreciate it.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And all right, y'all have a good one.